Are there some things that you see kind of similar in the pros and cons in special ed at a broader environment from a teacher location? So I'm going to kind of prime the question we talked about is, or there's a really big push right now for inclusion in the classroom, everybody in the classroom together. If you could just talk a little bit about the pros and cons of that.
Sure. I've seen the whole gamut with special ed because I've seen where if you were identified with any kind of disability, you were placed in a small group setting away from your peers, and that wasn't healthy in many aspects. But what that did provide was that intensive instruction on a daily basis, ongoing basis, to help those students become more successful adults and hit their potential as high as it could be. And what happened over the years, and I was definitely on that battle of fighting with my previous district in Illinois, fighting for students to be included in the general ed setting. And I think that's important, but I think it can go too far, because what I see happening now is that more times than not, the intensive intervention has been slighted in favor of full inclusion. And the problem in, say, a high school history class is you really cannot meet the academic needs or the social or emotional needs of students of whatever level of disability in an academic classroom where you've got classes of 35, 40 students who are trying to move forward in life with that high level of academics. So there needs to be a balance where you have that intensive intervention to provide the supports that those students need to help them overcome their disabilities and learn how to be as high functioning as they can be, plus getting them in with their peers so that they can have that social aspect. And I think for my family, that's what the gift has been. My children grew up with the social aspect of knowing their aunt, Bridget. Bridget grew up knowing my children. Not that she played with them, because that wasn't where she was intellectually, but she would give them the eyeball. You know what I'm talking about, that. She acknowledged their existence, which was a big step. She lets them be near her. She eats with them. They play games with her as much as she plays games. So I think there just needs to be more of a balance in education, so that social interaction with peer groups, so people who are not with people with disabilities become more sensitive to the needs of people with disabilities. But I don't think their education needs to suffer to get that done in an academic classroom. So there needs to be a different way to do that.
Yeah, I think you hit it on the head that peer interaction, that social interaction, is a two-way street, really, for both parties involved there. And then the other aspect to that is, Bridget might not have been able to advance with the eating, that type of stuff without more intensive care that she would not get in a general public education classroom.
Right.
So it's a give and a take there. I think schools are really battling that out. Not battling it out legally or anything, but just finding that line, and
finding the balance.
Yeah.
When my favorite setup, and we've been there with special education, is when I was able to provide small group instruction to get that intervention, and then I was the co-teacher going out to prompt them to use those skills in the general ed setting. Not to be an English teacher or a history teacher, but to be there to encourage them to use what I taught them in a smaller group setting.
So to see that through, focus on those specific skills, and then in the peer social group, help them through integrating that there.